So you want to know the real reason why your comic art isn't improving? Well, let me explain, with the help of this comic page drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. At first glance, you might guess that this page was created with a carefree, fun-loving process all the way through. And that's where you'd be wrong.
Oh my god. Oh my god! Sorry.
You see, the real reason why your comic art isn't improving is that you haven't developed the mindset to always do what is required. And thankfully, Daniel Warren Johnson, in one of the most entertaining streams I've ever seen, shows us what it really means to go through this process. Ddubs here is a pro comic artist, and he's an award-winning, comic crowd-pleasing powerhouse. He's renowned for his energized, organically messy art and effective storytelling. Needless to say, if someone has got creating comics somewhat figured out, it's him. Which makes what I'm about to talk about pretty wild.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Ddubs struggles with this page.
Knowing when something is gonna work. I thought this page panel was gonna work, and it's not.
You see, the only time when doing what is required comes into play is when you struggle and you hit that wall. It's when your drawing just isn't working. And that's kind of what happens here for a singular panel. Pro artists struggle like the rest of us all the time. The difference, though, is how they deal with that struggle, how they find it within themselves to do what is required to fix the art.
Be the best Michael I can be.
Instead of giving up or settling for less. Okay, but how do you do that? After he draws this second panel of this guy in a cockpit, he realizes that the arm on the far side is not connecting properly to the character, which prompts him to immediately redraw.
I already know I do not like that arm. So we are going to fix that for sure.
But when that fix doesn't go to plan either, this is where our journey begins.
Now, at exactly what point did we lose control here?
And the journey starts with the real question that we should be asking as comic artists, which is, how many times are you willing to redraw something before you give up? Many times this question doesn't even factor in because you're able to correct what you didn't get right the first time right away. But what happens if you don't get it right? What happens when the fixes don't work? If you had to guess how many times Ddubs here erases and redraws the stuff in this one panel, what would it be? 3? 4? 7 times? No, in fact, Daniel draws this bad boy 13 times over.
Well, there's not enough. Frustrating. That might work. Dude. But we have to change this over here now.
Now, think about how many times that really is, in a feeling type of way. Because remember, when you're not drawing well, when what you see in your head is nowhere to be found on your page, it can start to egg at you a little bit. And sometimes it digs a mental rut.
I'm not listening to my own advice. I'm continuing on.
And I've been there, and I think maybe you have been too. So around 3 or 4 redraws, you kind of get slightly annoyed that the solutions haven't worked yet. And by 6 or 7 tries, you start losing the script entirely. You start trying new things, kind of branching out from what you originally intended, and sometimes you land on something that kind of works. And this is where most of us settle. You settle for this half solution that's just good enough. In a way, it's taking the easy way out. It's not letting your art reach its full potential. And this is where changing your mindset to stick with it kicks in. At some point, Daniel says something so simple. And even though he may be talking to the chat here, you get the sense that he's saying it to himself, like a mantra. He says,
let's focus on what we can change.
And that, in one simple phrase, is what's required to improve. It's these moments where you see your flaws and your lack of knowledge, and you fix it. It's reframing something. And you actually want this wall, this struggle to come up, because it is the prompt for you to improve. So at some point, in around his 3rd attempt, Daniel tries to rearrange the forms that are already in his thumbnail, but he knows that this is a dangerous move because you're branching away from what you knew was going to work on a small scale.
If we can, we always want to stick to our thumbnail, because if it works small, it works big, and I am deviating from the plan, which is always a risk, and oftentimes will cause more grief than not.
The problem is he's realizing it's not a balanced page flow, and it's not really working for him.
I'm trying to find things that I don't like that read uncomfortable. Because things should be flowing smoothly visually, not necessarily even in a storytelling way. It's like, I like the way that looks.
So as the pro he is, he keeps redrawing and redrawing.
I don't even like this anymore. There is some gold here. I friggin' know it. This is a great face. I love it. It's not too centered. I just need to figure it out.
He goes through several more attempts, and at some point he pauses and really thinks it through. And eventually he makes an attempt, and when it doesn't work, he curses to himself.
Oh my god. Oh my god! This fucking panel. Sorry. Alright, well, this panel is the devil.
And you can really feel that struggle. And it's so satisfying to see him finally land on something here.
Here we go. There we go. Come on. Yes.
It takes a lot of perseverance to keep focused and positive while your attempts can seemingly be going nowhere on your comic page. So here's the techniques that Daniel Warren Johnson uses to keep that in check. First, jump around to different areas on the page. Find the places that still need work but are going better than where your pain point is. In this stream, Daniel does this all the time. Artists naturally do this, but when you're more frustrated with how something's not going right, people can tend to get stubborn and bang their head against a wall instead of moving to somewhere new.
I'm not listening to my own advice. I'm continuing on.
So try jumping between subject matter, like switching between faces to backgrounds or switching between refining a panel to starting something new. This can take your mind off of the negative thoughts for a second.
Trying to keep things positive.
Daniel even switches to busy work sometimes, like outlining the panels in ink, to simply mix it up and give him some new brain space.
Sometimes if I'm having this problem where I am getting stuck on a panel, I'll take some time and just do the panel borders. Kind of breaks me out of my head.
Next, you can lighten up your hand pressure. Regardless if you have a heavy hand while you're drawing like Daniel does, you can use this technique to find new solutions and explore more on your page.
If you keep making the same mistakes, take your pencil, mechanical pencil, and draw really light. It forces you to approach it in a different way.
If you're using a traditional pencil like I tend to do, try this instead. Use a different grip. For example, I'm a weirdo and I hold my pencil with the ring finger at the base instead of the middle and forefingers. So this will naturally make you draw lighter if you change up your grip because you have less control, and in turn you draw differently. So number 3, make it easier for you to explore. Daniel does this by mentally reminding himself to focus and remain open to all ideas.
Oh. It's important to go exploring. Don't be afraid to just start drawing. If something isn't working up here, just don't even erase it. Just keep going in the flow.
Next, he recommends redrawing perspective lines to allow for your mind to visualize the 3D space a little bit better, and thus help yourself come up with new solutions.
I'm just gonna reintroduce these grid lines again. Okay, so this just gives us a sense of order and balance.
And something that he doesn't do here, but I've seen many artists do, is to look through random reference, just looking for new posing or new ideas. So this is amazing. Daniel Warren Johnson shows us in a 1-hour session the key to drawing great comics. And it's really just doing what is required, working through where you're struggling and sticking with it no matter how long it takes to really improve. Build this into your working frame of mind and you will accelerate past other artists doing similar but easier motions. Not all draw streams are this entertaining, let me tell you, but this one has a really dramatic struggle. And I highly encourage you guys to go check it out, watch it, even subscribe to Daniel's channel because he's got a ton more streams like it. I hope this video illuminated something that you don't hear very much about the creative process and assist you in helping to reach your full potential as a comic artist. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this where I give you the best ideas and tips from talented comic artists and their streams. We just crossed 10K and I'm stoked. Thank you for subscribing and help us hit 30K is our next goal. Also, if you're interested in getting quick and easy art tips that you can read in just a couple minutes, delivered right to you in your email every week, sign up for Good Art Tips. Join the good guys that's getting bigger by the week and get a little bit more inspiration to take your art even further. Follow me on X. See you next time. Be good, everybody.